Hello everybody, I am the Black Sigma, or you could just call me Eric. And Miles is claiming that he killed his father. Mistakenly. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. And that's all. And until now you thought this memory was a dream? We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out and I lost my memory of the events. The same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination please. Yes, Your Honor. Time to press every statement to see if I get something new, and then present something. The scream he heard is what Phoenix thinks is odd. Father and Mr. Yogi began to argue, picked it up, threw it at Mr. Yogi, wanted them to stop fighting. Single gunshot, and a scream. Terrible scream he remembers to this day. One bullet found in his heart. The murder weapon was fired twice. Wait. There wasn't any oxygen. How could you scream? You'd be gasping for air. There's no way you could let out a sound like a scream. But also, I think I'm going to present the case and the fact the murder weapon was fired twice. You sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. No, Your Honor. Unfortunately, you don't. Look at this file one more time. Plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us what page it's on. Let me double check the page. Victim data. The murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Sedgeworth only heard one gunshot, yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So, who fired the remaining shot? Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice. However, we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There is no proof the second shot had anything to do with this incident. What? I see. You do have a point. Mr. Wright, the murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof the other shot fired had something to do with the case? Holy shit, I do. Behold a photo of the scene of the crime. One bullet is in the body of Edgeworth's father. Camera angle there. And the other one There's a bullet hole in the glass of the elevator door. 2 shots fired. I do have evidence, Your Honor. I'll be able to show you proof. What? Impossible. Now, Mr. Von Karma, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Well, Mr. Wright, show us your proof. Where's your proof? The second firing of the pistol is related.
Take that!
Look at this photograph every time I do it. I make that reference every time. They can't keep saying, look at this photograph. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. Proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. This photo proves it. So let me get this straight. This photo proves 2 shots were fired? Where? Your Honor... how about the fucking bullet hole in the glass, sir?
Take that!
As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. Bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol, and there is also one in the elevator door. We also know the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot. Order. Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart, the other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course. I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page. Case summary. Look what is written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene. Huh? If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. He does have a point. The second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter, the whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made the bullet hole in the door. That doesn't make any sense, Karma. Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us clearly: the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident, but the second bullet fired was not found. Highly unlikely the police overlooked the second bullet, so all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. How did this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, Maya. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick, if the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. No, but you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent. I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought that 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it. I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired the killing shot. But now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years. Nick. Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only one bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No. No, I do not. So you killed your father, though that was not your intention? Yes, I did. Oh no. He's accepted the guilt. Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today, therefore I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today, right here. Right now. Indeed. Does anyone have any objections? I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. So many things I know I should be saying. My mind's gone blank and I can't find the words. Mr. Wright? I have to raise an objection, but I don't have any evidence. Well, I have the bullet from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. Still bears clear ballistic markings. If only we could find the gun to match. I have an objection with no evidence, Your Honor. I object. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object? Nick? I don't know, his case is perfect. Oh no. It must exist. The second bullet. Huh? What? What did you just say? Nothing. Second bullet must exist? But where? Someone took it. It seems waiting is not going to produce any answers from Mr. Wright. Wait, Your Honor. The second bullet. It existed. What? But we've just heard proof that it did not exist. I realize that, Your Honor. It's just... someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. But who? The murderer. The murderer? Then tell us, just who is this murderer? I am still thinking about that one. So the criminal took the second bullet, but why? Huh? First of all, how would they have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? Now, I already know how this case goes. I know that technically the murderer didn't need to spend time finding that bullet. But I will say the murderer had to find it in order to cover up evidence. Of course there was a need, that's why they took it. What possible reason could they have had? Well, they took it because the bullet would be proof. Proof? It was a special bullet, so they took it with... No, it's not a special bullet. Why would they only take one of the two shots fired? Right. Mr. Wright, have you really thought this through? I'm gonna have to penalize you. In that case, the murderer didn't need it. Why would the murderer have spent the time to look for that stray bullet? I haven't got a clue. The murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true. had to take it. Had to take it? But what does that mean? You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? I have no idea what I'm doing. The murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene, but they had to. Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean? Well, for instance, maybe the bullet hit the murderer. The accidental shot, fired by Edgeworth, hit the murderer. The murderer then used the second shot to kill his father. What a stretch. The bullet hit the murderer. Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there, you know? Wait a second. It's just talking off the top of my head. But what if that's really what happened? Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murderer, or at the time of the murderer themselves was shot. And they left with the second bullet still inside of them. Thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime. Yep, that's how that'd work. But there's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from that elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Yana Yogi, were both unharmed. So that would mean the murderer came from outside. Yes. The two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door, sees the men inside, and kills Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say. Objection. What are you saying? Deny it! Deny it! No one involved with the incident was wounded. There was no murderer. No one was wounded at the time of the incident. That's right, I can't think of anyone. Hey Nick, why'd you accidentally press the button on your Joy-Con again? Shut up, Maya. I just thought of something really crazy. Crazy? Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday? Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record. Wow. It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and last he'd taken in his many years of prosecuting. What if Von Karma didn't take that vacation because of shock, but took it because he was injured? Which would mean, could only mean one thing. He was the murderer in the DL-6 incident. He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. It was Von Karma. Something wrong, Mr. Wright. You seem dazed. No, Your Honor. Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect? No time like the present. Your Honor, there is a suspect. One lone suspect. Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect? The what? Von Karma. Von Karma? You mean the Von Karma? The prosecutor? The one standing right over there? Bah. You don't object? I see no need. Why honor this ridiculous outburst with my objection? Because you took a vacation for several months, starting the day after the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any region? So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident? Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctor that operated on me. Have him testify. Nick, let's find out who his doctor is. It's no use. Edgeworth? I know Von Karma, perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. That would leave the doctor as a witness. Nobody's that perfect. So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane! No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull bullets out of yourself. Wait, what does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere, but where? If he didn't undergo surgery, and he wasn't able to pull the bullet out of himself, that would mean it is still inside him. But I don't have a way to prove that. Or do I? Tisk, tisk, tisk. Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot? Of course I will. Alright, Von Karma, I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. What? The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot is this metal detector that I happened to loan from a guy. The detective. Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery leaving an evidence trail. So then I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. You don't mean... I do. There is the possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma. Is that even possible for all these years? Well, there's one way to find out. We could use this metal detector that I happen to have on me. Well, Von Karma, I'm going to run this over you and see what we find. I refuse. You refuse. But refusing this means you acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you. Order, order, order. Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector. Judge, I call for a suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy. The statute of limitations runs out on this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now. Enough. I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing. Nick, what does this mean? I don't know, but we have to give it a shot. And beep, beep. It reacted. Something's inside his right shoulder. The bullet. Mr. Von Karma. You. It was you. I was afraid this would happen, and so I remained silent. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident. What? I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL-6 incident. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL-6. But Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that? Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is Mr. Wright who must prove something here, not I. Mr. Wright? Well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Von Karma's shoulder was from DL-6? Of course he can't. You don't have any of the DL-6 evidence. It's because you took it out of the records room yesterday. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright. No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. What? You were close. One day away from freedom. But you see, I have proof. What? Who would have thought you would dig your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL-6 incident. And here's my final proof. The bullet taken from Gregory Edgeworth's heart still bears clear ballistic markings. We compare the ballistics on that to the one in your shoulder.
Take that!
That's a bullet? Where did you get that? This is the bullet used in the DL-6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely, with all the ballistic markings intact. Ballistic markings. You may recall the term. Came up in the first trial 2 days ago. Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It's quite accurate. We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We could analyze both bullets. Then, if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun. The very same pistol, in other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. Von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder? Then we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet. And solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma? Doesn't sound like he's having a fun time. That scream. I've heard that scream before. Wait, I know. Help, I can't breathe. Quiet, stop breathing my air. I'll stop you, stop breathing my air. Get away! Get away from my father! Bang! The same R. It's that scream I heard in the elevator 15 years ago. Von Karma, it was you who screamed. Mr. Von Karma? Edgeworth, only you would dare defy me? So, it was you. You and your father are my curse. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. And you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. I'll bury you! I'll bury you with my bare hands! Death! Death! 15 years earlier. Chief Prosecutor, I am sorry. Von Karma, it's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you. I was careless. I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time. Edgeworth! It was a shock like none I had ever known. Me? Penalized? Took hours for me to regain my composure. I need to stop accidentally hitting buttons. Suddenly I found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. Must have wandered in there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went into the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button, but nothing happened. Then there was a noise. I was in pain, a horrible burning pain in my shoulder. Just then, the lights came back on. The elevator door opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then, it was destiny. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died, never knowing who had shot him. Later, he spoke through a medium, blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. It was the perfect crime. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevator door? Judge? What? What are you doing? Do your job. Bring an end to this miserable charade. Now, end it. Very well. It appears that we have come a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later. Mr. Miles Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. You were innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare. Yes, Your Honor. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty. Hooray! We did it! That is all. This court is adjourned. Nick, we did it! Did you see his face? Von Karma looked even paler than usual. He's pretending to be all cool, but inside you crushed him, Nick. Crushed! You gotta say, I'm impressed. Was pretty close though. I was sure we'd had it. I know, I was on the verge of tears the whole time myself. But now it's all just a good memory. So, it's finally over, Edgeworth. Right. Yeah? I'm not sure how to say this. I know. Try thank you. I see. Thank you, right. You're welcome. I think you could have done better than that. Sorry. I'm not good at this sort of thing. You got a lot to learn, Edgeworth. She's got you there. Woohoo! Amazing, pal! You pulled through, just like I thought you would. I'll never forget this. I owe you one, pal. And tonight, let's party. Dinner's on me. Yeah, my salary went down a bit this month, but who cares? See, Mr. Edgeworth? You should take a lesson from Detective. That's how you say thank you. I see. Whoop. I feel foolish. Don't worry, take it a little at a time. You'll get used to it. It's been 15 years since I've seen Edgeworth this unguarded. Hey y'all! Lotta? Y'all were great in there. Thank you. Yo, Edgeworth, congrats! Thank y'all very much. I knew you were innocent from the start, of course. Just look at you. You wouldn't stick your hand in the cookie jar even if no one was there. You were the witness on the first day of the trial, weren't you? Yeah, well, let bygones be bygones, eh? Speaking of which, what are you doing now, Lotta? Who, me? I went back to college. Gave up trying to be an investigative photographer pretty quick. Really? That's too bad. Huh? Isn't that the hot dog guy from the park? Huh? It's over, Nick. My life is over. Why the sad face, Larry? What happened now? Oh, Nick. I'm not long for this world. You don't look sick. It's Keonce. She's gonna live in Paris. Paris, Nick. She's leaving me behind. Should have seen that coming. Yo, Edgy, there you are. Yes. Here I am. Congrats, Edgy. Here, a little gift from me in celebration. Celebration? That's unusual for you. Harry Butts, you came along tonight too. You come along tonight too. My treat, pal. Thanks. Looking forward to it. Yo, Nick. That's the suit that questioned me. When he says treat, that's not police talk for prison food, right? Right? I think you'll be fine, Larry. Right. Yeah, what's up? That envelope that Larry gave me, it's got money in it. Well, yeah, that's not strange. People give money away to celebrate sometimes. It's $38, right? Huh. What a weird amount. I mean, it's not a little, but it's not a lot either. Wait. $38 exactly? If only I hadn't put this together an episode ago. Or an episode or two. Anyway, Nick, wasn't that exactly the amount of lunch money that was stolen from Mr. Edgeworth in school? $38. No. No, Larry, it was you? What are you so surprised about, right? Huh? Larry was absent that day from school, right? But that doesn't automatically rule him out as a suspect. What? Think back to that day 15 years ago. Larry took the day off, but he was bored, so he came to school anyway. Then he saw the money lying there, and the rest is history. I never was good at history. Edgeworth, you didn't know, did you? I suspected. I just couldn't picture Larry protecting you like he did that day. Everyone else was saying you did it. The whole class was against you, remember? Yeah, too well. Right, you may not know this, but we used to have a saying back in school. When something smells, it's usually the butts. I know. Really, right. I'm surprised you didn't figure it out. Well, this sure is an unexpected turn of events, eh? Edgeworth? You should have told me. Now, Nick, it was 15 years ago. Don't you think the statute of limitations has run out, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd say so, yes. There you have it. Where does that leave me? I became a defense attorney because of what you two did. Well, you've always been something of an insufferable emotionalist. Yeah, and you get worked up too easily too. Death! Death sentence to the both of you. Man, if only I'd had known, I'd have become a prosecutor. The same goes for me, only the other way around. For the longest time I thought that I might have killed my own father. I thought that I might be a criminal. I became a prosecutor in part to punish myself. If I had known the truth, I might have become a defense attorney after all. Edgeworth? Want to switch, right? Hey y'all, line up, I'll take a photo. Hey, photo time, let's go. And after that, dinner on me. Detective Gumshoe, that I will call by his proper name, took us out on the town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom. Even though Edgeworth himself was still in detention. The next day, at the office, I went a little overboard yesterday. My head hurts. It's still only 5 o'clock. Maybe I should go back to sleep. Huh? What's this? Letter? Good morning, Nick. You were really impressive yesterday. Seeing you, it made me think about what I'm doing here. I'm a spirit medium, in training of course. I wanted to help Mr. Edgeworth, too. I wanted to help you, but I couldn't. I was useless. So I've decided to go back to my training. I'll become a full-fledged spirit medium for starters. I couldn't say it to your face, so I left this letter. Goodbye, Nick. Goodbye? What time is it? Ugh. The first trains for the mountains have already left. To the station. Please, no, Maya. Maya. I guess I'm too late. Hey! Nick? Maya? So, you're leaving? Yeah. It's hard being a spirit medium who can't talk to spirits. And I think you'll do fine without me, Nick. Be good, okay? Hold it! Wait! What? I never could have saved Edgeworth without your help. Huh? On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice. You heard my sister? Yes, only her voice, but still. It was at the very end when I thought we'd lost everything. Well, that's my sister for you. Detective Gumshoe helped, and Mr. Grossberg, and even Larry. I'm the only one who couldn't help. I was useless, Nick. But you were the one who stopped Von Karma, Maya. Huh? I didn't do anything. All I did was wander around in a daze. Sorry, but I have evidence that you helped. Evidence? You see, Maya, this bullet... A bullet? Von Karma was convinced he had taken all of the evidence pertaining to DL-6. But you were the one who rescued the last piece of evidence we needed. This was the bullet that put an end to Von Karma, and you were the one who gave it to me. Nick? Thanks, Maya. I couldn't have done it without you. I'll be back soon. Huh? I'm going to complete my training and come back. Okay. I'll be waiting. Of course you will. You can't run that office by yourself. You're hopeless. I don't know about that. So, this is it. See you soon. See you soon, Maya. Ugh. And that puts an end to the base game of Phoenix Wright. As Maya gives us a teary goodbye. And so my story ends. Time to turn a new page and say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. Now, a new story begins, with the same old crazy cast of characters. Huh, don't think you've graduated yet, amateur. Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to rethink that claim? Yes, Your Honor. Uh-oh, got a bad feeling about this. But I'll object anyway. And that is the end, the actual end, of the base game of Phoenix Wright. Hey Belle, Mr. Edgeworth came down to the precinct to wish me a happy new year. Talk about pleasant surprise. Whoop, Detective Gumshoe. Then he hung his head low and went right back outside. Kinda like he was embarrassed or something. Strange, huh? But there's more to Phoenix Wright 1 than just this. There's an expansion, if you will. Not to mention, this isn't even a trilogy. Oh god. Larry's got a new girlfriend, a new model that's in Hawaii. But, as tradition, I let the credits roll. And the credits include... Who, right? Yeah, I remember him. I hear he's been busy lately. You know, not trying to ring my own bell, but I sorta taught him everything he knows. I'm sure he's grateful. Whatever you say, winced in pain. But, yeah. A fun journey. Phoenix Wright? The defense attorney for whom I wrote that affidavit, yes. Oh, you should have known. I'm taken over management. Should you be in the area, please stop by. Okay. So, this is it. But I am not done with Phoenix Wright. Just as I'm not done with Crash Bandicoot or with the Spyro or any other series of trilogies. But I've got to finish at least the first game in each of these trilogies before I do anything else. I'm not leaving any more incomplete series on my channel. Slowly but surely, I'll finish this off. She doesn't remember who Phoenix Wright is. Oh, God. Whatever you say, old bag. Oh, The Pink Princess is a hit. The sequel show to Steel Samurai. Ah, that's sweet of you, Mr. Powers. Yeah, I'm not gonna read everything. Maya got a cold standing under a waterfall. Ah, boy. Cody doesn't remember me. Ah, but at least he likes the new show. Hey Lotta. Yeah, you remember right? Paranormal photographer. Oh, there's a ghost in the group photo. Sure. Oh! There is a ghost in the group photo. Mia is there. You know what? Maybe Lotta is onto something. Oh. Oh. That's a very good way to do that. Just pulling a hold it to tell me that the expansion is included. Rise from the ashes. Because it's Phoenix. In that case, though the main game is complete, in this extra long episode, we will continue with Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney in the next one. I'll see you in that next one as well. Bye.